That's misery. That's grief. To me, depression seems like it's something that you kind of have something to do with. You're not just a complete victim of it. Anyway, that's where I am on that. Tadbit 379. Some of you are so mysterious.
Oh yeah.
I always go to people's. See this thread? This thread is coarse. I don't want my needle to be too fat. I want my eye to be large enough to take this thread. And the thread is like a 2-ply.
Spit on it, Margaret.
So it frays very easily. I spend a lot of time threading my needles.
Spit on the needle too.
Okay, Tadbit 379, whoever you are.
Wonder Woman.
You know, when you see, when you see a hawk in the sky, do you always just call it a he, assume it's a he? Or, I found a snake, I just assume it's a he. Of course, that might be valid, but I don't think so. I think it's just we assume most things are he. I wonder if men do that also. So anyway, I don't know what you are, but hi.
You assume I'm male because I ask about team sports.
Okay, you asked the question, was I ever involved in group sports? Not if they could help it. No group wanted me, I'll tell you. I was a dud, even in grade school. See, I started piano lessons
in the squash
6 weeks before my 3rd birthday. And I was in my first concert when I was 4. I think I have it. And this is so hairy. No.
Spin on it, Margaret.
Well, anyway, I was in my first concert when I was 4. And then I was always playing in recitals and things. And my mother would never let me play with a ball because I might hurt my fingers. I had a strange childhood. So, I couldn't play baseball or any of the group sports, or even like a volleyball. That was a little better, but what I would do, and so nobody ever wanted me on their team. So what I would do is when the nominations were open, my hand would be just flying there so that I could nominate somebody. Because I knew if I nominated somebody, then they would feel obliged to put me on their team. So that meant that if I didn't do that, after everybody, the 2 leaders had picked the people for their teams, and I was the last one there, somebody was forced to take me on their team. So if I nominated the person, then okay, then that was the first person they chose. They got that out of the way. Then they went on. And according to your comment, I just noticed the end of your comment that you said you would like to place a bid on this quilt for $400. So,
far more.
All right, well, I've got you down for that, and we'll stay in touch, I'm sure.
Well, Margaret, that was me. You got to see me eating my breakfast as soon as I saw that you were talking about me. I thought you might want to see what I was doing. So you guys caught me eating my breakfast. That was squash that I'd frozen and cooked up last night. It was leftover. Squash and a wheat bagel for breakfast. And there was little pieces of, I guess, part of the rind in it that I didn't quite get off. Sorry you haven't seen me spitting it out, but that's real life. You got to see it. Anyway, This is what I'm currently working on here and there. It's grandmother's flower garden. It's being hand pieced, hand stitched. I don't know if you can see that, but that's hand stitching. Oh, it's falling down. We'll just throw it down here on the sewing machine. Here's a couple of my quilts I'm working on. These are folded up because I've gotten aggravated with them, and they're not really important. They're for me, for nobody. This is my first attempt at applique, not hand. It's done by machine. So I put it away, and underneath it's a Carrie Nation quilt I'm making for my ex-husband. He doesn't know it's coming. If you know anything about Carrie Nation, it tells you a lot about my ex-husband and why we're no longer married. I laid this one out for Margaret. You know, you inspire me. I was trying not to go with color. These were just some scraps I had left over, but I still have a pattern. I haven't gotten over that hill of not having a pattern. I did get out a bunch of my scraps the other day and try to put them all together, and I thought, gosh, this just looks hideous. But I guess it's not hideous, it's art. I'll get there eventually. It's laying on top of a new to me quilt frame that I just bought. I got it for $200. It's got the 3 rollers just like you've got, but it is done by machine, and it came with an older machine. It's an industrial Singer. I'm partial to Singers simply because that's what my mom used for so many years. She's got a treadle Singer. There's my workspace where I do all my cutting and measuring, and my embroidery machine. I had it out this weekend. It's kind of a mess in here right now. I've been making purses and selling them because I'm currently unemployed. It's going pretty good. There's one of the tote bags that I made and a little purse beside it. And over here's, well, I got another purse going. It's my ironing place, my ironing station. And here's my baby. This is my Singer. I actually, when I was in high school, these were the sewing machines that we used in high school. I had a sewing class, and when they remodeled our high school, they were just going to chuck these out, and a girlfriend of mine got one and gave it to me. And as you can see, I too live in the middle of nowhere. We'll go look out the window. There's the cornfield across the way. We call it podunk, a generic term for the middle of nowhere. I spend a lot of time out here by myself, sewing, quilting, making purses, watching Margaret's YouTube videos, which I thoroughly enjoy. I get a good chuckle out of them. I didn't mean to be mysterious. I just didn't think that my life, there was anything really interesting about video in it. But since you are interested in who you're talking to, well, this is me. It's who I am. In some ways I'm a lot like you, in other ways I'm not. I guess I find you so interesting because around here in Indiana, in the middle of nowhere, 80-year-old women have their hair up in buns. They go to church on Sunday. They don't they quilt, but they don't quite do the things that Margret does. And I find you very unique and interesting, and I learn a lot from you in your videos. You hit on a lot of topics, not just quilting, but just useful information for every day. And I thought that you talking about depression really could help a lot of people out, because there's a lot of people that don't understand what depression is, and that really they're the cause of it. You're in control of your mind and your life, and you can either let it control you or you control it. And I think you inspire people, and not too many people do that. They inspire people in negative ways, and I think that Margret inspires people in a very positive way. Even though a lot of people may not understand her, I'm not sure I understand her, but I appreciate who you are and what you're doing on YouTube. I kind of fell into finding you by searching quilting on YouTube, and you were my first subscription. And I only had an account on YouTube because of you. I couldn't post, I couldn't talk to you, I couldn't in any way without making an account. So I did that just to send you a message a year or two ago. And when you started this latest quilt, and I watch all your videos, not just your quilting video, when you started this latest quilt, Oh, do you ever just not remember where you're going? You guys got to see the real me today. Scatterbrained as heck. I'm glad to see your quilting again, Margaret. Your loose ends project, I think, was getting the better of you, and it's good to see you grounding yourself. Good luck with all that you do, and I hope the mystery is solved. And I was very serious about my bid, and if anybody else wants to counterbid, I think that would be appropriate. Margaret's quilts are amazing and worth far more than $400. I think that's it. Look forward to seeing your next video, Margaret.